Buenos dias. We've been talking about 5 nurse stereotypes, and today's stereotype is nurses only care about money. Especially with this new surge of travel nurses and atypical nursing jobs, we see a lot of people that stayed in the bedside and a lot of the public saying, well, nurses don't want to work anymore. They don't want to work in the hospital. They just want money. If you know my channel, you know my content, you know what I'm going to say about this. This is not true. Money is a really important factor to a lot of nurses when considering a job because technically they do need money and they have families to take care of. Generally, what I have heard from people and what I have seen is that nurses just want the work to fit the pay. Which means for jobs where you have more work, more liability, you require more critical thinking, you want to make more money. And I really don't think that this is unfair. Especially nowadays where nurses are being criminally charged for manslaughter when patients die on their watch. It is really unreasonable that they would be making $20-something an hour, especially in this economy. Also, if you look up how much a hospital makes, if you look up how much their CEOs and their upper admin makes, it is really like a slap in the face to other nurses who are the backbone of the hospital, who take care of the patients 24 hours a day. Without nurses, there are no patients in the hospital. There's no one to take care of them. And because we are the largest group in the hospital to pay, they do everything and anything to try to not get us racist, to try to keep us as cheap as humanly possible. All that does is serve corporate interests, get nurses to leave, have less nurses on the floor, which really jeopardizes patient care. So not only is it fair that nurses make more money, but it's also fair that nurses get staffed more appropriately. I know of a lot of nurses who would literally stay in their staff jobs making, in the low 30s if they were staffed correctly. Because they really didn't want to be a travel nurse or they didn't want to do something else. But the liability force them out. You know what I mean? You're going to be undervalued, underpaid, underappreciated, and now you have all this liability on top of that. You're going to leave. It's just natural, like anybody would. Now, is there a group of nurses that is literally chasing the highest paid contracts all around the country because they like travel nursing? Yeah, and there's also nothing wrong with that. From personal experience, the highest paying contracts are the hardest contracts. They are the ones that have taken the most from me. So to me, it's not wrong that they would be making a lot of money to take those contracts. This is why there is such big push for reform from other nurses. And why we keep telling the public to listen, because this affects you. And then tomorrow when we discuss the next stereotype, nurses are the mean girls from high school. Thank you for listening.